42, in the last week of December, on a stormy winter's night, when the wind blew cold and raw, and the passengers and crew came aboard the Pembroke Local, fresh from Christmas celebrations, destination Ottawa. Oh, the cold wind was blowing down the track they were going, and the locomotive labored hard, the heavy load to draw. And how little did they know that disaster lay at Almont, all aboard the Pembroke Local, destination Ottawa. It's 100 miles or more from Ottawa to Pembroke, and the engineer was trying his best to make up time. He was losing all the while with the long stops at each station, and gaining far behind him came a troop train down the line. Oh, the cold wind was blowing down the track they were going, and the locomotive labored hard, the heavy load to draw. And how little did they know that disaster lay at Almont, all aboard the Pembroke Local, destination Ottawa. Oh, the coaches were all filled as they pulled out of Iron Dryer. They were packed into the aisles, any place where they could jam. And the lonesome whistle shrilled as the firemen stoked the fire. They were cruising but still losing as they went through Pakenham. Oh, the cold wind was blowing down the track they were going, and the locomotive labored hard, the heavy load to draw. And how little did they know that disaster lay at Almont, all aboard the Pembroke Local, destination Ottawa. They had entered Almont town and pulled up at the station, when around the curve behind them came a piercing whistle scream. With a mighty rushing sound, the troop train was upon them. Through the noise of crashing coaches, you could hear the dying scream. Oh, the cold wind was blowing down the track they were going, and the locomotive labored hard, the heavy load to draw. And how little did they know that disaster lay at Almont, all aboard the Pembroke Local, destination Ottawa. There were heroes made that night from courageous Almont people, as they worked among the living, the dead and dying too. There were many killed that night. Valley people will remember of that fateful Almont train wreck in December 42. Oh, the cold wind was blowing down the track they were going, and the locomotive labored hard, the heavy load to draw. And how little did they know that disaster lay at Almont, all aboard the Pembroke Local, destination Ottawa. One hot and sultry summer's day, July of '64, to Cobden village came two men who were not seen before. They hung around about the town and made some local days. They seemed a carefree, happy pair, two strangers from the States. 4 days went by that hot July, their dispositions changed. They entered Cobden's only bank for a robbery they'd arranged. They made a dash and grabbed some cash, an employee shot down. Kidnapping Jeannie Miller there, they turned and fled the town. Their speeding car did not go far, 'twas smashed beyond repair. They made a wrong turn down a lane and met a dead end there. They fled the car, hid in a barn, discussed poor Jeannie's fate, and planned to steal a farmer's car, two strangers from the States. At eventide they broke inside a nearby farmhouse home. They held the family at gunpoint and warned them not to phone. With Jeannie Miller's life at stake, the family did agree. And then the gunmen took their car. With Jeannie they did flee. They headed for Algonquin Park when day had turned to night. Across the side roads, country lanes, just keeping out of sight. The biggest man, he had a plan, the small one was in terror. And Jeannie wondered all the while, what would they do with her? Meanwhile, the speeding car was spotted by the OPP. And at Algonquin's western gate, they waited patiently. A lone policeman stopped the car, looked at the license plates, and then he pulled his gun on those two strangers from the States. The two surrendered quietly, surrounded as they were. And Jeannie Miller told police about her night of terror. They said, we'll take you to your home where all your family waits. But Pembroke Jail is waiting for two strangers from the States. And now the story has been told, I'd like to say a word about a young girl's bravery, brave as I ever heard. Hats off to Jeannie Miller, folks, her courage highly rates. While in the pen are two gunmen, two strangers from the States. It nestles in the Lanark Hills, out in the quiet countryside, with its lumber and old textile mills along the bonny banks of Clyde. Tall stately maples offered shade along Main Street, where folks walked down with all his beauty. God had made this friendly little valley town. Long years ago, a small Scotch band had built this little fill with pride and had called it for their native land, Lanark on the banks of Clyde. That fateful day in '59, along Main Street, where folks did walk, no shady maples stood in line, just burnt out buildings block on block. 'Twas Monday, and the time was noon. Yes, I recall that day quite well. It was the 15th day of June, when fire struck like wrath from hell. God knows the wind was strong that day. It was a nightmare of a thing, and people had to flee away and leave behind most everything. The firemen who fought that blaze, they came from every valley town. There was Perth, Smith Falls, and Carlton Place, Almont, and all points around. They came in answer to the cry for help sent out by telephones, and together there they fought to try to save those little Lanark homes. Well, that afternoon rain came to fall, the mighty wind did die away, and men who had backs to the wall began to hope and began to pray. By evening they had won the fight, but oh, how terrible was the scene. What blackened ruins there that night, where once stood Lanark, gay and green. The word went out by radio across the nation, far and wide, and then the help began to flow to little Lanark on the Clyde. God bless these folks who lend a hand to someone in their time of need. And right here in our valley land, we have that special kind of breed. They will rebuild, that is the word. Their Scottish string runs strong with pride. They want the world to hear this word. These folks from Lanark on the Clyde. Banshare River winds its way down from the hills and across through valley fields of grain and corn. Through the little town of Renfrew, not far from Eganville, in my Renfrew County home where I was born. In my Renfrew County home, my Renfrew County home, how I'm dreaming of you every night and morn. In my dreams my memory goes back to where the Banshare flows, in my Renfrew County home where I was born. Now I was raised beside the river in a little log homestead that my great-grandparents built in simple mold. I can still recall the river with the blue skies overhead and the trail they call the Uppiambo Road. In my Renfrew County home, my Renfrew County home, how I'm dreaming of you every night and morn. In my dreams my memory goes back to where the Banshare flows, in my Renfrew County home where I was born. How I long to be once more where the maple trees are turning red, and go wandering down that country road along the river shore and visit with the folks on my homestead. In my Renfrew County home, my Renfrew County home, how I'm dreaming of you every night and morn. In my dreams my memory goes back to where the Banshare flows, in my Renfrew County home where I was born. In my Renfrew County home where I was born. There's an hotel on the hilltop up in Douglastown, Ontario, where you'll walk in and order a beer. Sure, they'll greet ya and they'll meet ya, and Bagara they will treat ya on the St. Patrick's Day of the year. Sure, there's fun there, everyone's there, from the banks of the Banshare, from the point right up to Killaloo. All the Gormans and O'Reillys, all the Manions and the all the Irish are having their due. It's run by two devils, two boys called the Devils, Barney and Joseph to you. And when they get together, you can bet your shoe leather you'll never get home before two. Too late. In that hotel on the hilltop up in Douglas Town, Ontario, I'm gonna be there and have on my dream. In that hotel on the hilltop up in Douglas